everyone, Jessica from Rantastic here. If you've been following my daughter Crazy Caitlin and if you've seen some of her videos, you will have seen the accidents and the things that I've kind of gone through in the last couple years. She did a little skit about it called the Bad Luck Comedy Skit, and everything she said was true, and I shared with you a little bit, but I wanted to tell you another story today. There have been a lot of accidents that have happened to me in the last couple years, and one of my last videos was about the car accident that I had, and then a few months after that I actually got in another car accident, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I call this the ghetto car accident. So this time it was moving day. We had just moved from Redding, California, and we moved down south about an hour and a half. And we had parked the U-Haul for the night, and we realized that we were missing a couple things and we needed to run to Walmart real quick. And so we jump on the highway and we get off on an exit ramp, and there's a red light there. So we're sitting at this red light, and all of a sudden, again, out of nowhere, had no idea it was going to happen, I get rear-ended. Same exact spot I got rear-ended several months earlier. Except this time it was a little Volkswagen Jetta, and I have an SUV, and so it came in and it hit underneath, and it caused about 3 times more damage than the accident prior. Now, what made this accident interesting wasn't injuries or even the damage caused to my car. It was what happened afterwards. So this young girl just graduated from high school, 18 years old, was on her way to a grad party, and my friend that was in the passenger seat and I came to the conclusion we think she was probably texting, saw the light was green ahead of her, and just kept going. Well, it was a red light and just turned green, and I was waiting for the cars ahead of me to go. So I was still at a dead stop, and she crashed into me. So I'm sitting there in my car and I'm looking at my passenger and I'm like, this did not just freaking happen again. Oh my God. So I gather my composure. I look in my rearview mirror. This time I had my cell phone ready to take pictures to make sure that this is not going to be another hit and run. And I look back and she's just a young girl. She looked like she was just a little bit older than my son, who is 16. And then I was like, okay, I can't just go and blow up at her and be like, what the hell? Why don't you look where you're going? So I get out of my car, and we're still on this off-ramp. Cars are going around us. And I talked to her, and she's shaken up, and she's crying, and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there. I just saw the green light, and I went. I don't know how I hit you. And I'm like, well, I was still stopped. And she's like, I was just on the phone with my mom, and she's coming down, and she wants us to pull off to the side of the road and exchange information. And I'm like, okay, good. So that's what we did is we got off the ramp and we pulled off about a block down the road into a Meeks parking lot and started exchanging information. Then in rolls in a Escalade, and this woman gets out and wanted to see if we were okay and everything. Wanted to make sure her daughter was doing the right thing and giving us the information. And then she's like, you know, and then she starts going off about her daughter and how ignorant she is and how she just got this car the night before. It was her graduation present from her grandfather. And the daughter's crying, and she's like, I am so sorry. I don't know how it happened. I didn't see you or whatever. And I'm like, don't worry about it. We're not really injured. Let's just exchange information and get our cars fixed and just go on with our life. But it didn't stop there, because the mother calls her father, the man that actually bought the vehicle. And this is where it got ghetto. So I'm in this parking lot, and this big buff black man shows up on a Harley. Got all these hanging necklaces and gold and rings and all this crap on. And his phone's going off constantly. It comes over, and he just starts yelling at everybody. Yelling at this little girl, yelling at his daughter. And he's like, is this how you treat my vehicles? I bought this for you. How dare you just throw away my money? You're just fucking throwing away everything I make. All I do is take care of you and your freaking worthless mother. And he's just going on and on and on. And then it gets really heated and really animated. And the dad, or I should say the grandfather, and his daughter start going at it. The mom's trying to protect her daughter and gets in the way, because the grandfather is just verbally attacking and looked like he was going to start swinging at his granddaughter. He was really pissed. And so I am just watching, and my friend's like, you need to stand back. We don't need to be involved in this. You know, we need to kind of creep into our cars and take off. But we couldn't, because they kept everything right in between the cars or right in front of the cars. And I felt like we were just trapped. And, you know, we wanted to call the cops. Actually, we did call the cops. We called the cops, and they refused to come to the scene, because nobody needed an ambulance and nobody needed a tow truck. The cars were drivable. So they refused to actually come out to the scene. Then when it started to get all ghetto and animated, we really wanted to call the cops. The grandfather was saying all these really cruel things to this granddaughter. She's just in tears, and he's telling her how worthless she is and everything. And then he starts attacking his own daughter and starts swinging at her. She blocked a swing, or blocked the daughter and pushed her away from the car. And the dad starts swinging at his daughter and talking about how he just bought her that Escalade, and he bought her their house, and he pays all their bills, and they don't do anything, and they're freaking worthless, and this is how he gets treated. He's like, that Escalade is mine. You can walk from now on. You will never get a damn thing from me again. You've destroyed everything. And he's just going on and on. He's like, and this Volkswagen is mine. You will never get another thing from me. You will not get this back. You guys need to start walking. And the mom's like, I don't need to take this shit from you. What about all your DUIs and going to jail and all this stuff that you've done in your past? Not like you never made a mistake. And she's doing this whole thing. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just standing there like frozen, because I don't know what to do. And I don't want to interject. I already have my own injuries, and I don't need to get clobbered by this guy. And my friend, he's doing everything he can do not to interject, because he cannot handle when women are getting swung at. And he's trying to keep his composure, and he's like, if they come after you, it's on, you know. And I'm like, this man's gonna kill you. You just need to back the hell off. And so we're sitting there, and we're watching this thing completely helpless and wanting to get on the phone. And anytime we make any motion or anything, he turns around and looks at us and like starts yelling at us about how we're wasting his time. We're wasting his time. So he's swinging at the daughter, and he actually threw his daughter into my car. And she managed to get away from the side of the car and was trying to run to the back. He grabs her by the hair, throws her on the ground, and now she's partly under my vehicle, and he's beating on her. The granddaughter's coming up behind, you know, leave my mom alone. We didn't do nothing to you. This was an accident. Why can't you just understand this is an accident? Accidents happen. And he turns around like he's going to attack the granddaughter now. And the mother's getting up and she's all scraped up and bruised up and got a little bit of blood on her. And she's like trying to protect the daughter. And she grabs her daughter and she's like, we're leaving. And so she threw the Escalade keys at her dad and they just started walking up the hill and walking home. I have no idea what happened to that poor young girl and that mother, but that dad was freaking insane. So now we're sitting there and we're just about to get into the car. We've already exchanged the information before all this drama happens. And we go to get in the car and the man shuts my door. He's like, where the hell are you going? We got stuff to do and you're wasting my time. And I'm like, I was like, I'm wasting your time. I just moved here today. Your granddaughter hit me. They called you out here. We did not call you out here. I called the cops to come out here to this stuff and they refused to come out. And then he got really pissed and he's like, you called the freaking cops? Why would you call the freaking cops? And I'm like, because we're in a freaking accident and there's more than $500 worth of damage here. I just got my car fixed and your granddaughter hit my freaking car. That's why I called the cops. And they're like, well, they don't come out here unless you need an ambulance or a tow. And that's not the case here. And he just started yelling at me. And my friend over there, he's getting pissed, you know. And so I'm like, look, we've already exchanged information. We're done here. We're leaving. And he's like, you're not going anywhere because I don't have any of this information. And so I had to do all this information again with this man. And in the middle of this, he gets this phone call. And you can hear the voice on the other side. And just by the vehicles they were driving and the jewelry and everything, I know what he does for a living. I'm not a fool. This man deals some serious drugs to have this much money floating around, can hand out these type of gifts and pay off all these things for all these people. This man is a freaking drug dealer. I'm sorry. It's not a prejudice statement. This man deals some freaking drugs. So his cell phone rings. The cell phone is like this freaking big. He's on this phone. And you could hear somebody in the background needing stuff. And he's like, yo, I'm going to have to hit you back because my bitch daughter and my worthless granddaughter got in an accident and I got to take care of this mess. I'm going to need some bitches to help me clean this up. And he's like, so I'm going to have to hit you back. And I'm like, oh my God. Then he gets on the phone with his girlfriend or wife or whatever she is and starts ranting about that. In the meantime, we're still sitting there waiting because he's not letting us leave. And gets off the phone with them and complaining and everything. And so finally, he gets off the phone. I told him I had pictures of everything and that I had all the stuff, and he wanted pictures but didn't know how to do it on his phone, so I had to use his phone to take pictures of both vehicles. And then I gave him pictures of the driver's license and all the information that I had. And then he gets up on his, oh wait, there's one other thing that happened before this. After the daughter and the mother had left and he had my door held with his hand so I couldn't get in the door, a cop on a motorcycle does actually show up to the scene. And he does not leave his motorcycle. Takes his little helmet off and he's like, is everybody okay here? I hear there was an accident. I said, yeah, there was an accident. I called you guys and you guys refused to come out. He's like, well, we don't come out unless there's a serious injury or anything. Is there any trouble going on here? And now this big black man is pissed and he walks to his Harley and he starts going off on the officer and he's just sitting there on the Harley just like, y'all are wasting my freaking time or whatever. And the officer refused to even leave his motorcycle, come look at the cars, file a report or anything. He would not leave that. And so the cop said, okay, well, if you need any help, just let us know. And I'm like, okay, let you guys know because we need your help and you're not doing a fucking thing. So anyways, he puts his little helmet back on and he takes off. So then the big old man gets off of his Harley, walks back, and that's when he was like, are you done now? Are you done wasting my time? Told you the cops are worthless. And he's just going off about cops and everything else. And that's when his phone rang and he told this person he was going to deal to or whatever the heck was going on in that conversation. And then called the lady, and then we swapped the information. I took the pictures and whatever. So sorry I missed that little key part in the story. But after we swapped all the information, he finally takes off. He's like, all right, I'm out of here. And we got in our car and we left. And I was just like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I feel like my car's a target. I feel like I'm a target. It's just like constant shit always happening. Thankfully, we didn't sustain any more injuries. I had already had a procedure in my back and I wasn't hurting at the time. And I didn't have to go to the doctor or anything else for that accident. It was quite a bit to fix my car because, as I said, she did a lot of damage. She actually busted up my frame and they had to fix the frame and everything. But what really broke my heart with this accident is to see a grandfather act like that to his own daughter and granddaughter. And not just belittle and berate them, but physically come after them and attack them and knock them on the ground and beat them. And I felt completely helpless. There's nothing I could do about it. So anyways, that is my ghetto car accident story. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like this, give me a thumbs up. And if you like my videos, please subscribe and I will subscribe back. All right, thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.